Hey everyone, it's Sean. It's Sunday, so it's time for story time, and I have some very, very awesome guests swimming in the river in Preuss. That's right, you heard it. There's a river that runs through this store. We have a gigantic waterfall out front, and then a river that runs all the way through. So we got a bunch of shrimp going upstream that are breeding up there, and then we have koi, saw-sided catfish, plecos, and upside down catfish in here. So we have a big variety, and as you can see, they're actually very, very big fish. Koi come from Japan, and koi is just another word for carp, so they're a big type of carp. And then the saw-sided catfish and the plecos both come from South America. Now, kind of the cool thing about all these fish is they eat everything. They're omnivores, so they're eating other fish, they're eating shrimp, they're eating insects, they eat algae, they eat aquatic plants. Basically anything that these guys can get their mouths on, they're gonna go ahead and eat it. So they're kind of the cleaners of the river system. So being that there's so many fish, there's a lot of waste output in here, so that produces a lot of algae, and it produces a lot of things for other small micro stuff to eat and invertebrates to eat, and then these guys just eat all of them up. So they all have very specialized mouths in order to do this. All the fish that I named, they have sucker types of mouths. So that means they can literally, like a vacuum, suck up food out of the floor, or like with the plecos, they stick to the sides of the rocks and they suck up off the rocks all the algae and everything. Sometimes I can get them to come eat out of my hand, but I'm not quite sure if they're gonna go ahead and do that. So we'll try. You don't want any? Looks like if I throw it on the surface, they go ahead and go for it. You can see them gulping at the surface for food. And maybe, just maybe, they'll go off of my hand. Nope. Looks like they're a bit too afraid to go off of my hand. I'm trying to get our big saw-sided catfish named Hoover to come up. Hoover's been with the store since 1986. That is a long time for a catfish. But he has a nice happy home in here with plenty of room to swim around. Sometimes when he feels like it, he'll eat out of my hand, but it doesn't look like today he wants to. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some his way, and then when he wants to, he'll come up and eat. All the koi, on the other hand, they're always hungry, they're always waiting. So I'll throw some more back there and get them swimming around. And because we're talking about fish today, I'm gonna read you guys a story called Memoirs of a Goldfish. This is by Devin Scillian. So I hope our fish friends like their story, and I hope you guys like it too. All right. Day 1, I swam around my bowl. Day 2, I swam around my bowl twice. Day 3, I swam around my bowl, thought about taking a nap, but fish don't sleep, so I swam around my bowl. Day 4, I got some company today. I don't like the looks of him one bit. He doesn't say anything, he just bubbles. Day 5, Mr. Bubbles hasn't said a word. He just looks at me. I said hello today, and he said gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. He's creepy. Day 6, today my bowl looks like a garden. There are a bunch of plants in here now. I guess I'll have to water them. Great. Day 7, Mr. Bubbles and I now have company. He's a snail. He says his name is Mervin, and he likes to eat the slime off the inside of the bowl. He's disgusting. Day 8, things are getting very crowded. While watering the plants, I met a crab named Fred. I offered him my fin, and he nearly cut it off. Even Mr. Bubbles is afraid of him. Fred says I should stay on my side. Fred says I should stay on my side of the bowl. Look, I said, the whole bowl is my side of the bowl. He snapped his claw and Mervin fainted. I gotta get out of here. Day 9. That does it. My bowl now contains a sunken pirate ship, 2 guppies named Rhoda and Clark, an angelfish named Cha-Cha who says she's from Hollywood. I can't turn around without bumping into something. At least Mervin is happy. There's more gunk on the side of the bowl every day. Day 10. This is ridiculous. I was trying to find room for a swim today when Rhoda and Clark told me they're going to have babies soon. Like, there's room for that? Fred knocked Mr. Bubbles over and he became tangled in the plants. Cha-Cha said she couldn't help with Mr. Bubbles but needed me to apply her sunscreen. The sides of the bowl are covered in slime and Mervin says he's too full to eat anymore. Yuck. Day 11. I'm a nervous wreck. Trying to avoid Fred, I turned around quickly this morning and came face to face with my reflection in a mirror. I nearly jumped out of my gills. I don't even look like myself anymore. I need to relax. Day 12. I've had it. Rhoda and Clark were racing around the bowl. Fred was fighting with Mr. Bubbles. Mervin kept belching, and Cha-Cha told me I was standing in her light. I just lost it. This is my bowl, I screamed. I want my bowl back. Day 13. Today I got my wish, sort of. With a whoosh and a splash and a clink and a plunge, I was suddenly in a very tiny bowl of clear, pure water. Ah. It was small, but it was all mine. It was heavenly. I swam around my new bowl, twice. But I started to wonder, what happened to everyone? When I last saw Mr. Bubbles, he was tangled in green. Who would help him? Poor Mervin was probably sick as a dogfish. He needs me. Cha-Cha will get a sunburn without me around. What about Rhoda and Clark? Did Rhoda have her baby guppies? There are probably 1,000 of them. They need me to make guppy bottles and change guppy diapers. Even Fred needs me. I'm the only one who can really talk to the crabby guy. Have they even noticed I'm gone? Does anyone miss me? I started to cry, and that's not easy for a fish to do. Day 14. After a long, sad night, there was a whoosh and a splash and a clank and a plunge, and I was suddenly sprayed in the face by Bubbles. Mr. Bubbles gurgled a happy tune. Rhoda and Clark raced by me like two speedboats, followed by 12 the cutest baby guppies you've ever seen. Mervin waved his tail at me from the nice, clean glass of our enormous tank. Cha-Cha sat happily beneath an umbrella. I think even Fred missed me. We were all back together, and I looked around and realized I was part of a big family. I guess I must have smiled because Clark said, "You look happy." I wanted to see it for myself. "Where's the mirror?" I asked. "What mirror?" asked Clark. "We don't have a mirror," said Fred. "No mirror? No wonder I didn't look like myself. It wasn't me I was seeing." Her name is Gracie, and she's the color of a fresh tangerine. And she's a Pisces just like me. And today we're going to swim around the tank together. Twice. So that is a really cool story about how sometimes our houses can get bigger and they can seem crowded as we add more family members. And even though sometimes we can kind of get irritated with not having enough space and being cramped and everything, once those family members are there, you're going to miss them. And sometimes it just takes moving to a bigger space or giving people more room so they can have their own personal space and you can have your own personal space. But just like with animals having to need all this room to swim around, we need our room at home too. So it's okay to ask for personal space, and it's also okay to go ahead and miss your family sometimes. So hopefully you learned something and liked the story, and hopefully our fish friends did too. I'll go ahead and give them a little bit more food. We can see them kind of splash up and fight for it. Come on, fam. Come eat your food. I think they're getting full. So hope everybody enjoyed it. Have a good night.